Hi, my name is Tanya and I wanted to jump on here to do a short centering and EFT exercise. In our press this week there's been some really upsetting and really triggering news. We've had misogyny, racism and violence against women, and I know a lot of women out there, myself included, are feeling really emotionally charged about this. 97% of women are sexually assaulted. So the majority of women that you know will have had some form of sexual assault, some form of abuse, and we know it isn't all men, but we know that the majority of these incidences are committed by men to women. I'm a psychotherapist, I'm an advanced EFT therapist, I have a lot of tools in my toolkit, and yet this week I've been feeling really activated, really triggered. I haven't been sleeping, I've been having nightmares when I have slept. Like so many women, I've had things happen to me. I've been stalked, I've been followed where somebody just almost pounced on me just before the door got opened. I've had a very close escape with a rapist. I have been flashed at, I've been groped. That's just the stuff I can remember off the top of my head. I've been in an apartment, that I used to live in alone, and somebody tried to break in. And so when this kind of stuff that we are aware of all the time, this undercurrent, but when it gets brought to our attention again, it can really activate or reactivate all those feelings that we have going on inside of us. So I know I'm not alone in feeling this way. So I wanted to just share a little technique in case you are feeling like you need some regulation. And I just want to add here that we know obviously that this is not all men, and this isn't a man bashing exercise at all. I've got a son, I'm raising him to understand consent, and that no means no for himself and for whoever he plays with and he engages with in life. And I know a lot of parents are doing a wonderful job raising their children to feel their feelings, be vulnerable regardless of their gender, let their feelings out rather than stuff them in and repress them so that it ends up being really harmful behaviour, and also to understand consent. But unfortunately we've still got you've got a way to go with all of this. So let's jump in and do the exercise. A little note here, this is not for you if you are feeling really super activated and that you need some additional support. I'll put some links in on this video for additional support. Be really mindful of your mental health and your emotional well-being, and reach out for support if you feel like you need it. So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. It is a form of talking, tapping therapy, and I tend to incorporate it when I'm doing psychotherapy. I incorporate it in the energy work that I do. I use it as a standalone, and I find it is amazingly helpful for reducing the intensity down for emotionally charged feelings. So let's just start by centering ourselves. So sitting ideally on a seat with your feet on the ground, just for a moment, just close your eyes and put your hands over your heart, and let's do 4 slow deep breaths in for the count of 4 through the nose, and sigh the breath out. So and we're breathing in through the tummy, not into the chest. And just for a moment, place your hands over your sacral area. We store a lot of emotionally charged feelings in this area. So with your eyes closed, I just want you to just do a little body scan, bringing your awareness from the top of your head down to your feet on the ground, and just noticing how you are feeling inside. And I'm not necessarily on about emotionally, I'm on about physically, physiologically, what's going on in your body. Starting with the head, is there any tension? Any busyness of thoughts? Your jaw might be feeling quite clenched, your neck and your shoulders. And into your heart area. It's been a lot that's been emotionally very activating this week. So how are you feeling in your heart? And your solar plexus. This is an area which governs power, freedom and control. Many of us might be feeling quite powerless this week. And then down through the legs to your tailbone, and bringing your awareness down to the feet on the ground. So we spend a lot of our time in our heads, and even more so when we're emotionally triggered by things. And by just bringing our awareness back into our body, if it feels safe to do so, we can become more present. So rather than living in a fearful future about the what ifs, or living in the past where issues are very much present, we are just bringing our attention to this body here and now. Okay, you might want to do a little stretch. Alright, so I'm going to do some tapping now. So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. We can tap with either hand, 2 or 3 fingers. Normally in a session, I'd be explaining in detail what EFT is, how it works, but this is just a short session to show you how it works. Okay, so I'm going to speak and then you can repeat the words after me. If you're somewhere where you can't speak out loud, you can just be tapping under the table, you can just be thinking the words. But if you can say the words and tune into the feeling and feel what you're saying, it can have a more impactful effect. Make sure you're hydrated, so have some water with you. It's really important to stay hydrated when you're doing tapping. It helps it to work more effectively. You also might feel a bit self-conscious when you're tapping, but I did initially when I learned it, and it's just part of the process. Now I know it works, so I do it. Okay, so this is a karate chop point. We're going to tap on here now. Even though I'm feeling really triggered this week, I am open to loving myself anyway. So you're repeating these words after me and you're tapping. Even though I'm feeling really emotionally triggered this week, I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I'm feeling a lot of big feelings this week, I am safe here in this moment. And I'm going to tap on the top of the head. I feel so many feelings. I feel angry. I feel sad. I feel rageful. I feel the injustice. I feel scared. I feel heartbroken. I feel full of anxiety. That's just on this point here. If you go for your collarbones and you go out about an inch or so, you should feel a little bit tender. You can either rub this point, you can use both hands, you can just use one hand, whichever works for you. I give myself this time to feel what I feel. Okay, let's do another round. Even though I'm feeling really anxious, I love myself anyway. Even though I feel really scared, I am here for me. Even though I feel really triggered, I love myself anyway. I'm so sick of this happening. I'm so sick of having to behave differently because of my gender. I'm so tired of having to think about my safety every time I go out. I'm so sick of not being able to be as free as men in my movements. I'm so devastated about all the violence against girls and women. I am here for me. I allow myself to feel what I feel. I allow myself to feel this rage, this sadness, this fear. And I remind myself, I am safe here and now. Just grab some water. Even though I am powerless to change what has happened, I accept myself anyway. Even though I feel completely powerless sometimes, I choose to believe in me. Even though I feel hopeless at times, I choose to believe things will change. I feel so many feelings. I feel it in my body. It feels so unfair. It feels like we're not free. It feels like we're not protected. It feels like we have to behave differently to be safe. And even then, we're not safe. It's so deeply upsetting. I am here for me, and I am safe in this moment. In this moment, all is well. Even though I have a lot of fear, I choose to feel safe in this moment. Even though I have a lot of fear, I am safe in this moment. Even though I feel so upset and so scared and so angry, I give myself what I need. I come home to my body. I allow these feelings to move through me. I allow myself to safely engage with my emotions. I choose to feel safe in the present moment. Even though I feel so many things, I reclaim my power in the present moment. am safe here and now. I am safe here and now. So that was just a short session on EFT. Play around with the words. It might be that you're feeling really rageful. It might be that you're feeling really anxious. Whatever it is you're feeling, you can start with a karate chop point, even though I feel whatever it is. I am open to accepting myself, or I love and accept myself. And then just talk and tap through the points. It can bring stuff up. So go slowly, go gently, reach out. You feel free to message me if you feel really activated or triggered, or you need some tips or guidance. And there is support in place for people to talk. So reach out. And I just wanted to send you love and peace in these really challenging times. Thanks for tuning in.